Pleasure to talk to you about what I'm sure is going to be yet another blockbuster film. But can we start with the technology and how much it makes the vision so real for the audience and easier for you to tell the story?
Yeah, it's very interesting what you say, because if you think about the Jurassic stories are based upon Michael Crichton's book, and in those books we find real scientific theories about how to clone dinosaurs, and in that sense this is not a fantasy. This needs to feel totally real. Visual effects are so amazing nowadays. They were 25 years ago, and they're getting better and better and better. And in this movie, the level of realism, the level of it's so incredible. It's so amazing to be in charge of this technology and bring those dinosaurs again on the screen.
Did you have as huge sets as I'm sure you know as it looks on screen, and how much of the Natural History Museum was an inspiration or a location?
Yeah, there is a location in the movie, what we call the diorama room,
Yeah.
that was very inspired about the Natural History Museum in New York.
And the sets, were they all huge, and how important is it to have things on that scale?
Yeah, it's a big team effort when you want to bring a dinosaur inside a mansion, because you will see them inside a mansion in the second half of the movie. You need to talk to the guys from special effects, visual effects, and of course the production design, because you need to fit a dinosaur inside a mansion, so you need to recreate these massive sets that were so beautiful. It was a pleasure to be shooting in those sets.
As with the original movies, and here all the more, you know, it's all about that debate of how much we should preserve species, how much we should be in tune with nature and not meddle with it. How important are those themes? It's a big blockbuster movie and a popcorn movie, but there are themes to relate to.
I think that Fallen Kingdom, like most of Steven Spielberg movies, it's a lot of fun. It's a big entertainment movie, but at the same time, it talks about relevant and timely themes, important subject matters like the relation that man has toward nature or science. And in that sense, it's very interesting as a filmmaker to be able to do all these incredible set pieces where people is really enjoying the experience of going to the movies, but at the same time you can talk about interesting things that will interest them too.
And it's very relatable characters. You know, when we talk about Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, this is a new breed of movie stars that the audience really relates to and could put themselves in their shoes. So how important is it to have those new kind of heroes?
One of the things that I loved the most about the first Jurassic World was the relationship between Owen and Claire and the chemistry they bring to the screen. And for me, it was absolutely needed to go back to these characters and find them in a very different place this time. They are in a they're not together anymore, and we will find them in a more mature place. And it's very exciting to be able to take that relationship and take it one step forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What do you like most of them as actors? Most about them as actors?
I think I love to work with Chris and Bryce. They're very different, but because they're very different, they bring a lot of chemistry to the screen. Bryce is so incredible, so professional. She's been on set since she was 3 years old, because she's the daughter of Ron Howard. So she knows all the time exactly where you are, what you're doing. And Chris is so brilliant, it's so fun. It's so great to be working with him. He gives you so much as an actor. Every single take is different, and he improvises a lot, and everything that he does is pure gold. So you get to the editing room and you have so many choices to where to choose. It's great.
Well, tell us about having also a young girl as a young protagonist in the film.
Yeah, we have a very interesting character.
In Maisie.
In Maisie. Maisie is a little girl. She's the grandfather of Benjamin Lockwood, who's been a business partner from John Hammond. And she's a very, very interesting character. I think that's one of the characters that people will remember from this movie, especially kids. And it's great to have the chance of putting a kid, seeing a kid in this movie, and that kid being so important for the story.
Let's talk about the creation of the dinosaurs for the screen. It was very creative in this one. We don't want to give too much away, but some of them have not been seen on screen. So what can you tell us?
Well, this is the Jurassic movie with more dinosaurs that we've ever seen. And there's the old dinosaurs that we all remember, like the T-Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptors. But there are new ones like the Allosaurus, the Carnotaurus, and Indoraptor, of course. The Indoraptor is the new creation. It's something that hopefully people will remember. It's probably the most terrifying dinosaurs we've ever seen in a Jurassic movie.
What remains the most challenging thing to do in those films?
I think one of the most challenging things is the size of it, the scope. I remember when I did The Impossible, which was a movie based upon the tsunami, that we had a massive set piece recreating the tsunami. But in this movie, I felt I had five tsunamis at the same time, you know. So it's the scope of it. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And are you able to gauge what audiences still love about the concept of dinosaurs on the screen? You know, it's all about children loving to see dinosaurs, about audiences flocking to see those films.
I think that Fallen Kingdom is a movie that creates more empathy towards the dinosaurs. From the very beginning, we have a premise that tells you that there's a volcano about to erupt in Isla Nublar, and this volcano is going to finish with the life of the last remaining dinosaurs. So suddenly, it's very interesting. We're on a rescue mission, but this time we're not going to rescue people from dinosaurs, but the dinosaurs. And in that sense, this is the movie that creates more empathy towards the dinosaurs. It's about our role towards the creature that we were able to recreate in the past.
I'm sure someone like Steven Spielberg is such a movie enthusiast that he wants to see what vision you're going to bring to this film. So how much does he get involved?
He's very involved, but at the same time, he gives you a lot of freedom. He makes you feel you're the important person in the room. And he really wants to hear you. And it was one of the reasons I wanted to be involved in Fallen Kingdom, to have the chance of meeting him and work with him. And it was a pure joy, like sitting down with him, checking the shots with him, talking about the story, and seeing his enthusiasm about my work was something very special.
Do you remember you're watching the first ones, his?
Yeah. I check all the Jurassic movies again. And of course I read the books also from Michael Crichton again. I wanted to be invested again in the Jurassic world before getting involved in Fallen Kingdom.
If there were any metaphors to those stories, what would you say they are?
Metaphor? I think it's very interesting about the Jurassic movies because they always reflect the world we live in. They talk about our relation towards science or towards nature. And in that sense, these themes are more relevant than ever right now. And in that sense, Fallen Kingdom is also a reflection on the world we live in.
Does it mean you have scientists as well as consultants on those movies when we talk about genetic cloning and stuff like that?
No, we had all the time the supervision of veterinarians, for example. There is a moment in the movie that we perform a surgery on a dinosaur, and we had veterinarians all the time on set telling us exactly what to do in what would be a real surgery on a dinosaur in reality.
And finally, do you get feedback from the fans as to what they're expecting from this film? Do you know what they would like to see?
Sure. It's the first time I do a sequel, and suddenly I found this fun phenomena around it, which I love because you have all the time these people telling you what they want to see, what you can not do. I mean, it's very interesting to have that feedback while you're doing a film.
Absolutely.